The Greatest Showman, a musical film based on the iconic P.T. Barnum, aka Phineas Taylor Barnum, the greatest showman who ever lived, and the creator of the greatest show on earth that we all know as the circus. With Michael Gracie as the director, starring Hugh Jackman, Michelle Williams, Zac Efron, Zendaya, and Rebecca Ferguson. The movie starts off flashing back to young Barnum as a child who is a poor street kid whose father, Philo Barnum, is barely making ends meet as a tailor. While Phineas's father is working for the Hallett family, he discovers their daughter Charity and becomes madly in love with her. Which, of course, the father of Charity is not having it because the young man comes from a poor family. P.T. finds out that she is being sent to finishing school, but solemnly promises her that they will not be separated and be together again. And not letting their love for each other be killed by her parents, they decide that they are going to stay in touch by writing each other. And eventually meeting each other again as adults and running off to get married, which of course the mother and father are not happy about. They run off and get married in New York City and have 2 daughters, Caroline and Helen. P.T. loses his job at a shipping company that goes bankrupt. He returns home for Caroline's birthday. Phineas realizes that he wants better for himself and his family, even though they claim to be happy in their not so fortunate life. He then decides to take a huge risk by taking out a hefty loan from the bank, and into getting that loan, he tricks them into taking his former employer's lost ship's collateral. He then uses that loan to buy a huge museum he opens known as the Barnum Museum of Curiosities in downtown Manhattan, which at first is a showcase of historical wax figures and animals. But of course, sales unfortunately are not going too well. P.T. realizes he needs to think bigger and create a show that's a real-life experience, something alive. So he decides to seek out human beings that are strange or unusual to serve as performers for the show, where he recruits General Tom Thumb, the bearded lady, the tattooed man, the dog boy, the world's heaviest man, trapeze artist W.D., and Ann Wheeler, and more. Eventually meeting Philip Carlyle, he convinces him to join him as partners for the circus to up his career. Philip falls madly in love with trapeze artist Ann Wheeler, but hides his feelings. P.T. and his group are invited to meet the Queen Victoria. P.T. meets singer Jenny Lind, whom he convinces to be her manager and to tour America. P.T. begins to get a little too caught up in his success and begins to distance himself from his original group. He loses sight about what he was all about and has to find himself again. Now, I really can't give more away, but this is such a fantastic musical that you have to see for yourself to find out. This is a film that has you from the time that it starts to the time that the end credits roll. Every scene is amazingly choreographed. Every single song is catchy and just sticks with you and makes you want to dance. It's a film that's uplifting and inspiring, and it actually inspires you to be a risk taker yourself and to just be a dreamer and go after what you love. It's full of amazing cinematography and imagery and just unforgettable dialogue. It's full of so many touching and romantic moments. And the romance is another big part of this movie. I mean, it really feels like a lot of those classic old films. The soundtrack was released on December 8th, so the same date that the film came out, and it went almost triple platinum. And when you have a film that has a soundtrack that has gone almost triple platinum, the movie has become a classic with the soundtrack, and grossed $435 million at the box office. And this is a classic that shall be remembered for years to come, like any of the other great classic musicals. Anything that makes a film a great movie is in this movie, so I highly recommend it without any hesitation. You will be highly satisfied and just adore it for the rest of your life.
It's everything you ever want. It's everything you ever need. And it's here, right in front of you.